absolutely ridiculous. I think it's a mathematical impossibility. I think it's either overlooked or they don't care. I don't know. But the shit looks ridiculous to me. If people want to believe it, that's on them. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
convince
and they were
anybody
making the point
anymore.
too that the car had a shadow on it, but the Earth was completely lit.
Oh yeah, the specular light from the sun in the angle it was in relation to the car. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm done. If people want to fucking believe that shit, then by all means, engage in fantasy and believe what you want. But I'm not going to try to convince anybody.
Well, I
I'm
almost
just
feel like,
telling
see, this
people
is my
how
thing
I
now.
feel about it.
I think they're trolling in a sense where it's like they're like, wake the fuck up, people.
It almost feels
That's what
like
I
that.
feel like. It like that's what it's more like to me. It's like it's more just like I think more like when I see Elon Musk on stage, I think he's more in like a state of disbelief where he's like, "You believe this shit?"
I almost feel
Like, you
that
know,
way too.
like I feel like he's like got his life threat. Like I feel bad for Elon Musk. Like I've said, hashtag save Joe Rogan. It's like I feel
Yeah.
bad for those people that are immersed in that intelligence world. Where did you hear Donald Trump Jr. might go on fucking Joe Rogan Experience?
Oh, that'd be great.
Right. So like,
Dude, that guy's such a pro troll. His Twitter feed is fucking hilarious, dude.
so yeah, I haven't been paying much attention, but I just thought it interesting. I feel like they're almost closing in on Joe, and they're like, "Yeah, we know you got paid fucking $1 million to
Right,
be their
dude?
fucking sellout, bitch."
The Trumps are fucking pulling them in. That'd be
Yeah, they're
hilarious,
like,
dude.
"Hey, guess what? We're gonna fucking make you an offer because we
Be
like you."
like,
Because
we
they're gonna be
know,
like, you know,
we
they're gonna
know,
be like, "We like you a lot, actually, because you do MMA, and we all like MMA. So we're gonna
dude.
flip
I
you."
can see it. They're like, look, we know you got a big check from these scary deep state
It's
people,
right
but
here in that fucking memo from Mueller.
we got a bit. Yeah, we got a bigger check for you. Okay, why don't you come over to this side? Start.
Welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, it's part of the show. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish gallop and wars. No remedy can save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight for a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. I said, welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated 8 makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate. No one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates, but my brother, heaven could never be late, and rockets don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is on Mars. It's a joke, but you're too far gone, it won't be long. Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond, and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown and all of us wearing our holy crowns. Said the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along, just to go along. I said, welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
And an interesting aspect of that too, Beast, is music. I think as well, the power of influence of music, don't you think? Because it's a frequency, it can change someone's
Yeah,
emotion,
you
right?
just had
Without
me.
even touching them.
Yeah, Andy, it just made me think of like somebody could sit there like you're at a party and they're like talking to somebody about I'm immune to mind control, and then the song comes on and they're like, "This is my song," you know.
This is my jam.
It's like, yeah, man.
It is pretty
That's
funny.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Not that it's wrong though, you know. It's like there's good magic too, you know, right?
Well, there's mantras, right? Mantras. Essentially, that's what a chorus of a song is. It's just a mantra. Oh,
Yeah, that's like, yo. I mean, well, that's like I did that tune. I'm not spinning. I don't know if you ever heard it, but yeah, I'm not spinning. I'm not spinning. I'm not spinning. It's just over and over. It's like,
no, I never heard that one. My favorite one
Where's
from you,
that at?
Issa.
put it in the chat. Hold up.
Yeah. My favorite one from
Send it
you,
to me.
Issa, is "Welcome to the show where you don't know you're part of the show."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
If you
that
don't
one.
Yeah.
know, ah, dude. Yo, I think I was so ahead of the shit though, man. Think about that. Like, yo, what is that? I just like I always loved the second verse. Intoxicated hate makes you believe you're spinning in space. You know. Ah.
That was great.
Alexa off.
Yeah, let me grab down
Sorry.
my spinning man. Yeah, oh, now you get this for myself. Thank you. Thank you very much, actually. I fucking love you guys for supporting that shit. Shit's on like 20,000 something views right now. Yeah, it's like I want that song to be like, you ever heard of Cody Jenkins? Probably not. He's like a country artist. But like I fell in love with this dude's music and he seemed to blow up about 10 years after his music was put out, like after the album was put out. These songs started to make it. So yo, I tell you, I'm asking all y'all, make that shit happen for Welcome to the Show, you know? Like I feel like, because you know what I also feel like too is right now it's very interesting because Nick Fuentes was just on Tucker Carlson, and after Nick Fuentes is Flat Earth. You know what I mean? They couldn't kill fucking Fuentes. The final experiment's gonna be a joke, and Flat Earth is gonna be next. And with it, I'm fucking betting on you, my man.
Yeah.
Fucking right, dude. You make the best. You're the best rep. Fucking right.
How much love, brother?
Yeah, man. Like yo, and you use any of my music? Fuck, please use my fucking music. Put that shit on the motherfucking map. Use it if you need it. Fucking, you know, go on home, Angry Glober. I don't know if you know that tune. Go on home, Angry Glober. Go on home. Ain't you got no fucking home of your own? You know, it's the old Irish, because it's a British soldier. I don't know if you guys ever know that tune, but big tune. Rebel music, man.
I got you, bro.
You don't know. You don't know. Yeah, that's tight.
Like, yo, I like that. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while keeping you chained down with mortgages and cars, vaccines for your arms? You know,
Yeah, that's good.
fucking dickheads. Yeah, dude,
That's
I'm
fire.
really feeling that.
There you go. I posted it for everybody. It is a good one, dude.
Thanks, man. Hold on, let me get. Oh yeah, I was looking for. I'm not spinning because that's the mantra one.
I'm not spinning, 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 I'm not spinning,
Cool too, yo. The
Yeah,
I'm not spinning. The I'm not spinning one was the one Eddie Bravo's clique was running in their jujitsu videos, which was cool as fuck.
nice.
You know, when I first got introduced to that song, that's what New Perspective put me on, right? And for the longest time, I thought you were Hawaiian, bro. I don't know. I just pictured you as like Hawaiian in my mind's eye.
I picked up on that reggae
Ha, that's
twang.
funny. Yeah, dude, I used to run around like half my life pretending I was a Jamaican dude. You know, shit happens. You know what I mean?
Cops and bars, stolen cars, like the way you say that.
Yeah, the way you say it, dude. Yep, exactly.
Yo,
Yeah,
does this Coco person ever come in the VC?
I've heard her like once, maybe.
This person's wow. This is- she put timestamp for our Lord and Master Witsit, bro. This person hates me.
Yeah,
Yo, you know what
I
though?
don't know why. That's weird.
I just think about it like, yo, dude, all these people. Remember, you're dealing with like all the anti-flat earthers are lefties too. So like, they're literally like gonna sit there and like it's like I've been railing on this lately over in Gems and just I like the battle, and just like it's like these people are over here like trying to like tell you the difference between non-binary and fucking like queer oriented and like some gender shit, and like the whole world is just like, dude, you're a fag. You know what I mean? Like, we don't fucking care about your fucking nitpicky, like, deciphering, splitting hairs about every little thing ad infinitum where you never actually solve any problems. And, like, I just love that Flat Earth is the biggest fuck you to all of it, in its own glorious way. Like, just this idea of, like, parsing everything. It's like, dude, it looks flat. You don't feel like you're spinning. There's the credibility, asshole. That's the credibility. And then also, dude, I'm telling you, this idea of the paradox, the necessity of the paradox, the idea that there has to be the theoretical globe versus the flat and stationary perception. Like, when is life not paradoxical? Like, the harder you grip at sand, the more you lose. You know what I mean? Like, the same fucking shit. If you want to be loved, let it go, right? It's crazy. This shit is like, fine wine for the fucking intellectuals, man. And the heathen and the profane don't get it. That's why I like the Masons, because they recognize that there's a bunch of people that really don't fucking deserve this information and don't waste your fucking time. Not that like Freemason, but like just any of this shit that we're interested. It's like, I don't know.
No, there is like a lot of truth to that idea. Like some of this stuff, uh, like embedded within the cosmological conversation is like super profound and even sacred in a way. And just
And
like the
dude,
way that people treat that information is just wild, disgusting. It's like,
yeah, I mean that's another point of the idea that it is like sacred. And also the other thing is that it's dangerous for some people. This is why I kind of always like respected, like I've always looked at the anti-flat earthers as like these safeguards to the well-being of the collective conscious of the world that was made by the Bernaysian lie of the moon landing. Do you know what I mean?
Like it's like the safety net.
Yeah, like they're looking at us. They're looking at us like, why are you telling them? Why are you telling them?
Yeah.
That's why you can never win an argument. They never concede. They're the safety net for the collective unconscious, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I respect them, but at the same time, we need people to wake up. And that's why it's
Like
like, remember too, it's like it's sacred knowledge. So when you drop it on somebody, don't hurt them with it.
those nets that they connect at the bottom of the buildings, so when people want to jump out of it because they're like
Well, yeah. I
trying
mean,
to
dude,
program an iPhone.
like, I remember talking with my man Timmy Osmond back in the day, who was a terror to flat earthers, but I became cool with him, like I am with a lot of these cats. And like, because they can't bullshit me, and I'm not bullshitting, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. And me and him are cool. And like, and I remember we met up in Colorado actually, and I fucking was sitting there, and he was like, dude, don't you understand that like people need, how did he put it? They need like a reference frame to exist in, is kind of the way that I want to say that he said it. Like, and like,
He
it
would
makes
demonize
sense.
you for talking about it. Like you're wrecking their worldview and you're undoing their marriages. He would like say that you should feel bad for telling them the truth, basically.
Well, again, it's like I've often like just kind of in hindsight, like you look back and you're like, like when the universe does this to you, it's like the universe is almost telling you to like, hey, shh, tone it down, like or something like that.
When I was talking about the inverse square law of light, debunking light years, I didn't really know what I was saying at the time, but he got so mad at me, bro. He was like, you don't know what you're doing to these people. Like, you're putting them in this extreme position and they're losing their children. I was like, what? Like, we're just talking about philosophy and science and shit. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, it's like Cathexis always
Religion
said,
or
man. It's
children.
LSD without the drug. Flat Earth is LSD without the drug. And some people can't fucking hang.
I think we got to
You know?
quit calling them anti-flat earthers. We got to start calling them trans astronauts.
Well, I've been kind of making the argument of like, how is it that like someone like just for that example, and I don't even mean to be derogatory or anything to like really people that are like that or whatever, but like that 0.1% of the population that are confused about genders, like how is it we have a vice presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, saying introducing herself with the pronouns? Like this is like weird that the world is catering to a quote unquote of such a fucking minute because they use that statistic to say, oh, what bothers you about it so much? Why are you offended by this? Just a small percent. Can't you just let them live their life? It's like, dude, that 0.1%, whatever it is, has affected the point where presidential candidates got to tell you their pronouns so you can know how to make them feel safe, bro. What are we doing?
Weird.
How does that
And
make
just
them
like
feel safe?
well, like and I'm just saying, like, but that theme, including NASA, including like science, like, dude, you experience the Earth flat and stationary. The only reason you believe it is because it's been drilled into your head, and like, to be fair to the globe, is that and the one each side has one valid argument, and every other argument is the same evidence with a different conclusion. And the only two arguments that exist in this is one, the celestial sphere for the globe and two, like for flat Earth, is the idea that you experience it flat and stationary. They are undefeated arguments, and you can't reconcile them.
The celestial sphere is just a concept, though.
Well, you could say whatever you want about it, celestial sphere, but they're going to point to, and it's all I'm saying is that it's a useful tool mankind has created, but it's paradoxical to our experience. And I think, like, but it does exist, and it is their undefeated argument. And our undefeated argument is empirical like our empiricism. Everyone experiences that they're not
Reality.
fucking work. Yeah, reality. But you have this their argument of and I would never throw it away is my point. Is like, the idea that the celestial sphere is the celestial sphere. It doesn't necessitate the what the earth is in total, but it makes a great suggestion for the globe. It just goes against everything I experience, which is weird, and that's why there's a wall up against it.
It's just a concept, like bending and
Exactly.
warping in space
It's
time.
a great like Cathexis was so right early on. Like the idea that it's a great model. It's just that the Earth presents itself as flat and motionless, and there's no getting around that. And that's what's cool with flat Earth because that's why it's undefeated. And then you have what's undefeated about the globe is the celestial sphere. But every other single point along the way, both sides are going to use the same evidence. Like I'm going to show you a picture of the fucking the flat whatever with a boat over there, and they're going to take that same image and use that image to prove their point. But every other argument along the way is exactly like that.
Flat with an upturned edge, aka concave.
And we still got the LJCs over there. Did you follow Lord Jesus Christ, or what's his name?
No, absolutely not.
Lord
Flat with an
Jesus.
upturned
No,
edge is
LSC.
concave.
That's what it was. LSC. He was doing no.
You have to
LSC was
follow
on some
anyone
shit.
to understand that.
What is it?
I
No.
said
Oh
you have
yeah,
to
yeah. I
follow
got you.
anyone to understand that. You
I
don't
got
want
you.
to
I got you.
escape out this false dilemma, possibly paradigm.
Yeah, no, no. The first I'd ever heard of it was from this dude LSC back in the day, who was a nut, but he was also a very intelligent, interesting cat. And he used to talk about like the mega. He just anytime you meet these, there's always something to learn. And the dude was educated to some extent. He's a little nuts, but you
No, but
know,
flat with an upturned edge is concave. We're not talking about other people. And I don't disagree with what you said.
No, flat
yeah,
with upturned edges is a pool table.
Lord Stephen Christ was he's the
That's
Messiah
what
of
it is.
concave Earth.
yeah. That's when me and Snax came up with the tune "No Believing in Steven" because he was trying to tell us that we were all going to go to hell. And we were like,
Oh,
no,
snap.
believe it, it's Steven. And we were making fun of him. We had to go and Snacks got out the saxophone. It was fucking hilarious. He was so pissed off. It was fucking so funny.
Yeah, he put a
All the good
curse on me
old
one
days.
time. Yeah, Steven put a curse on me, bro.
Wasn't he arrested twice? Once for threatening to assassinate Obama, and then for threatening to assassinate Trump.
Yeah, I think so. I know about the first one. I think, yeah, the second one too. Didn't he pass away, though? A little while back. I don't know why I think that.
But
Maybe I'm mistaken.
you get arrested for something like that, I think you're a Fed, and you're just getting like called in for reprogramming or whatever.
Fair enough.
Flat with an upturned edge, that is concave though, right? If you point at the horizon and you're pointing in the sky, that's not where the ground is, so that's concave. Sorry, I don't know if I ruined
Have you
anything.
ever
Like
seen?
if
Have you
someone
ever
was
seen?
saying,
Hey, have you ever seen LSC's model? He had a whole model and like a video about how it all worked and shit. It was fucking pretty. I mean, it was interesting. I didn't accept it. I don't accept it, but I mean, it's a totally wild concept. And
Year
to
was
his
that? Was
credit,
that 2014?
probably he was early on it. I believe he was ahead of Flat Earth. He was before fucking Flat Earth and Dubai and all of it. I think, and he was just fucking wilding out for years. I wish.
He was definitely one of the first ones you run into for sure. During that time, anyway.
Yeah, but
Were you getting recommendations about Flat Earth, Issa? When
you
that right
know,
around that time?
no, I think what happened with me was I was talking to this chick, and this chick knew it. She mentioned something about flat Earth, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I fucking that's what kind of drove me into that direction. But I was kind of watching videos like I used to watch like the Santos Bonacci videos and shit. And I always dug his like astrotheological take on shit, and like or just you know what I mean. That was kind of shit I was into. But if I'm not mistaken, it was a chick that turned me on to it, and then I started looking it up. You know, like you do.
Yeah, we were talking about last night, like how just popping it was during that time. Like, and all the videos were really good, and there's a lot of them.
Well, you know, I think a lot of it was yeah, like ODD. You know what I mean? Like ODD practically turned me into a flat earther. Like watching his
Dude,
video,
everybody.
as much as I bust his balls. You know what I mean? Like I'll bust anyone's balls. I can't help it. I'm fucking just a dick. But like
Ballbuster.
oh, I can't help it. I mean, I got my opinions about the world. It's like and like I come across people that have influenced me. Regardless, whatever. I like ODD a lot. His videos were fucking awesome early on. Eric DeBase. But then when like Eric Dubay started calling me a shill because I was getting some some bly early on and all that.
Me and Gio were talking. Do you think that this is like an organic reaction to Flat Earth getting presented to the world, or getting pushed, or maybe a little bit of both? Like right around that time, right? YouTube had
Well, here's
all
my
these
thing, man.
recommendations.
Here's my
Somebody
thing.
had to put them in there. That's what I think, anyway.
Well, I think like I don't know. It cuts both ways because like in one sense, it's such a divide and conquer tool. Like the 9/11 truther people that hated flat Earth, that was what they thought about flat Earth. And I didn't. I mean, I was very interested in flat Earth and all the rest of it, but I understood what they meant because it further fractionalized um, people. You know, whereas like and so like in those senses, I could see where people would argue that it kind of divided like a movement at the time that was catching steam, which was 9/11 truth. But some
Yeah,
people
it's like
looked at
they're
it like a
jealous
distraction.
of it or something. It was
Well,
weird.
they looked at it like a distraction, and they just never mind the fact that they just also hated flat Earth. Whereas like some of us are just
Yeah.
I think of flat Earth as like a fine wine or like a band that I like. Like if people are into it, they're into it, and if they're not, I'm not gonna fucking waste my breath necessarily. You know what I mean? or unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Unless it's like over on here on Discord, where I feel like it's fun to, you know, flesh out ideas. But I've always thought too, when I learned kind of the ways, like flat Earth isn't the hill to die on. For me, anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's such a philosophical endeavor that it's not worth risking. You know, some things. But as an art,
Well,
you know, what's up?
if I could, talk to Tim Osmond today, I would tell him that I've been married for 20 years and he was absolutely wrong, and show me, a flat earther who isn't into the 9/11 stuff and anti-war 100%. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always sought to like find uniting points. It's like Grimm. You know, Grimm. We were always at each other's throats when it came to fucking flat Earth. But then you start talking vaccine shit, and you don't want anyone else but Grimm to be fucking
Right.
laying waste to motherfuckers when it comes to that topic. So like,
Yeah.
again, it's like flat Earth is just a band in the overall. You know, it's just almost like a bandwidth rather within
Right.
the whole
Right.
fucking conspiracy frequency shit. And like
But in
some
my
people,
opinion, it's the highest frequency because some people are just like, oh, refraction. Yeah, I'm wearing glasses on my face. Therefore, everything that any anti-flat earther ever said about refraction is automatically true. So, in my opinion, it's the highest bandwidth. Thanks.
yeah, I think it's like, I mean, it's weird though, because like I think we used to always, the Glober tendencies. That's what always gets me is you can like like you could be a flat earther and you still haven't got rid of all the globe in you. You know, like I used to always argue. I used to always say, like, if you're fucking flat earther, then and some, because everyone used to kick Jem out of like shit and like whatever. You know the deal, Hank. You went into the fire, so you hung in the fire. You hang in the fire. So it was like some people never did that. You know what I mean? And some people totally like isolated themselves and like would never let guys like Jem into the fucking conversation. And I always just or like would be totally just become unraveled because somebody was a glober and they were going to argue for gravity or something. And like. And I just kind of think like, where's your Kundalini? Fucking hippy dippy. You're in one with the universe shit. You know what I mean? Like, where's your resolve? You know what I mean? You're gonna lose your shit because somebody fucking said something. You're gonna get
Yeah, I think I just got better at arguing against what they think about gravity.
well. That's what we were
Like,
there to do. That's what we were there to do. You know what I mean? Or like anyone authentic, I thought. You know what I mean? And that's where. But some people just and you're like, yo, dude. Like I thought you were like in touch with the earth and fucking knew it was flat and fucking speaking to Jesus or some shit. Like what? Where the fuck's all that? You know?
so flat Earth was recently mentioned on Candace Owens' show. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a leftist Jewish guy who speaks out about what's going on in Israel. And he basically said,
Oh yeah.
like if you're going to be part of the Flat Earth Society, you have to be willing to defend it. And if you're not willing to defend it, then there's like nothing really there. And I was like, damn, like he just brought up Flat Earth,
I'm
even though he
telling
said
you,
the
man.
wrong.
I'm telling you, Fuentes went on Tucker Carlson, and Flat Earth is next. Like I think like it's just next, and it's gonna actually start because again, these dudes do
How do
nothing
you
but like.
defend it? I
Hold on,
defend it.
well, I mean, flat Earth. I'm not. Let's not defend flat Earth in this particular juncture, but like
It's called open
the idea is
mindedness.
the next in line, though. The next in line idea after Fuentes and shit is going to be flat Earth. But I wonder if it's not going to be because remember, like
No.
all things work together for good to those who love God, right? So when they come out with the final experiment bullshit, it's going to do nothing but create an army of flat earthers that are going to see these cornballs and fucking be
Humble
like, this is
scrutiny.
retarded. You know what I mean? So I just think like it's not, and then Witsit will be have to go. Witsit, you need to like write a little book to have a little backdrop if they don't fucking put you in this shit, you know? So like you got the book, and then fucking like Tucker Carlson be like, so you were on the trip and they took you out of the film. What happened? you know, that's how I think. And it's just like I remember everything they do is just it sucks for them. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. Same thing. After
That'd be
Fuentes comes
crazy.
Flat Earth, man. After Fuentes comes Flat Earth.
I think
I think
as far as us defending flat Earth, I think that we've done it to the point to where anything that's a globe claim is going to be unfalsifiable. If they say that there's curvature, well, we can see Mount Conahu for 273 miles. Well, if you slide the refraction index all the way over to where it's like in the flat Earth index instead of the globe Earth, then we can explain that away. It's like, okay, then that makes it unfalsifiable. And it's like, well, we got, space time and mass attracting mass. Like, you can't disprove those things.
Just
So,
because I have an explanation doesn't mean it's right. Like, and they just
That's the thing
automatically
about the
think that.
refractive index. You can't just slide it infinitely. You have to have actual weather conditions that would go with it. And that's unreasonable.
well, they're not trying to be, as reasonable, or they're not trying to be correct. What they're trying to do is just make it just convincing enough to where they can keep people on the fence at least. I think.
That's what it feels like.
I think the fence is a great place to be. From someone who was there for like a year and a half, the fence is a lofty position where you don't have your emotions intact in the argument. You have only to look at things on both sides of the fence, and there is no grass is greener because the whole thing is, objectively viewable. In my opinion, if, this whole thing about Antarctica, the final experiment or whatever, if it put people on the fence, I think that's a great fucking thing.
Dude, the thought of you sitting or stand, would you be standing or sitting on a fence?
Well, I certainly wouldn't be sitting now, would I?
Yeah, dude, I could picture that in my head, and it's a good bird's eye view. You got both sides. Yeah, I like it. It's a good place to be. Agreed.
But yeah, I was a fence sitter for about a year and a half. I was like, okay, well, let's let the flat earthers catch up and do their thing, because Globers had a huge head start and billions in funding. So let's see what this grassroots movement can do. And like 2016 to like 2018 or something like that, maybe a little later, I was on the fence.
Yeah, they answer the whole "where do I live" question really young as a child before I could even think to have that thought. They're already pointing a globe saying, "This is where you live." You do something like that to somebody, you have no chance really most of the time. That's why I think there's something to it, because even with all that, stuff that we had to grow up with the ball just getting shoved in our face, like, and we still came through it, and we're here now. Like,
Programming, did they spend, like, how much money, time, effort did they spend shoving that ball down our eyeballs? And
it didn't work on
still
us.
didn't work. Yeah, it still didn't work.
Like, that's not a very good.
Sorry,
that right there should make
guys.
at least question it,
Shit's
bro.
weak.
Like, and for real, question it. Don't just fake question stuff and then try to act all condescending, making me feel like I don't know anything. Like, really? Come on.
And then you've got Globers who are still claiming that gravity is a force, these fundamentalist Globers. And it's like, really, guys? You think it's one of the 4 fundamental forces? Really? Like, after all this time, you think there's a unified field theory? Please do some fucking research. Like, crack open a book or at least Google something about the unified field theory. Gravity's not a fucking force.
Even in their own paradigm. And it's so funny how some of them don't know that, some of them do know that, but the way they answer is so.
No, they're in the previous
very telling.
paradigm. They're still in the paradigm from the 1700s. You know what I mean? Like, well, I won't give them the 1600s because a lot of people probably rejected Newton at the time. But their paradigm is 2 paradigms back. Because if we're in the new paradigm, and the paradigm before this was like Einstein, they're still in the Newtonian paradigm from like before the United States was a country.
Yeah, it was in these rooms where I heard like somebody had asked, about gravity, and they're like, which one? Einsteinian? And then they said, what do you mean, which one? Well, you have Einsteinian and you have Newton. Like, I didn't even know there was two different gravities. And then they try to just say, well, it works on the or on the local solar system. It's like, yeah, but that's a major problem, bro. Like, and they do that on purpose. They make it so crazy to you just give up your, well, they must know. They're writing books about it. They're teaching me about it, so they must know the truth. You just kind of settled as a child, dude. Like, you have no choice. I mean, they never set us down and go, okay, well, here's what they tell you we live on, and then here's what we'll go out and actually check. Like, that would have been nice, you know. But even with all that, growing up in the 80s with all those space movies and all that stuff that was also getting programmed into me, I still fought through it, and I'm here now, you know what I mean? So there's hope, I guess.
Look, I get it if, some people like never understood Einsteinian gravity, so they just went with what they could understand. But when someone points it out to you, like, hey, the unified field theory, it's not working out. Like, no matter what they do, no matter what they try, like, just go check it out. It's like, well, I don't understand Einsteinian, and like what's it always said, falsification is independent of replacement. Well, some of these people, I guess they need a Santa Claus, and it really is like a religion. It's scientism or whatever.
Well, yeah, I think like that's where that paradox shit is. Any idea? I always thought of it like, if you're in your bed at night and like you hear something go bang in the bang in the other room, you're gonna immediately try to identify it. You know what I mean? Oh, it must be the cat, or it must be this. Like you're gonna try to figure it out. It's like what's scarier is not knowing what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's scary. That's what
Being in your
horror
room is
movies.
the scary part.
What was his name? Alfred Hitchcock. That was his whole thing. Because that's what made his whole movie so scary. It was like all the suspense leading up to and not knowing what the fuck is going on. That's the most
Yep.
terrifying part of the movie.
So you're saying we scare the Globers when we tell them that gravity's not a force? We're
I just think
terrorizing them?
that's part of the kit and caboodle because it was just the idea, the uncomfortableness of it.
They think of us as terrorists.
They must, bro. Think about it. Like, we're going against Einstein. Like, we're going against Albert Einstein standing on Isaac Newton's shoulders.
Because that's what they do, right? They stand on each other's shoulders.
Right. That's what they say that they
goodness.
do. But, like, I'm just, little old Larry, high school dropout. And I'm trying to explain to him how I think gravity works. And it's demonstrable. Like, you ever had a glass of tea? Like, what happens when you drink the tea? The ice goes down. You put more tea in the cup, the ice goes back up. Okay, do you understand how this works? And then you say, yeah, it's buoyancy. And then they start describing it mathematically and like, look, there's gravity right there in the math equation. It's like, okay, but you're in a category error. We're talking about how gravity works, right? And just because you describe it mathematically doesn't mean that this is how it actually works. We're talking about experimentally, this is how it works.
Dude, it's all facts. They know what happens when you drop something. Well, good for you, but that doesn't mean that you know where it comes from and all these things with no evidence. I mean, dude, it's blatantly on. I mean, it's right there. I can see it anyway. I don't know how anybody else can't, but
Well, yeah, I think
And I
real
always
quick
tell
is
them,
that you don't
go
want to
ahead, bro.
get rid of that. Well, I'm just saying, like, yo, like all the implications and all the science of the globe. It's like it is awesome. It is a profound plethora of like ways to explain and like is completely awesome. You know what I mean? I just think, and like I think any one of us being really honest would have to recognize like it's a profound work of humanity, and there's a lot of truth. It's just that there are things worthy of being questioned. You know what I mean?
Well,
And that's the distinction. I think also don't get because I think too many people get lost in the sauce of like, oh my God, we got to reinvent it all. It's like, no, this is a profound body of work from humanity. Like the globe is a profound work of humanity. It's a profound suggestion. It's amazing. It's just it too is not sacred enough to be to not be questioned.
so I too stand on Witset's shoulders, poor Witset. Because I'll borrow one of his things. All you have to
Right.
do is show me demonstrate gravity without manipulating buoyancy or density. Use my presumed causes as your controls and your presumed cause as your independent variable and show me. And everyone's all like trying to talk about the math and stuff. It's like, okay, back to the category error. And yeah, it's a great thing for trying to describe, the world coming about by a naturalist point of view. The Big Bang God created the gravity god, and the gravity god is the son of the Big Bang god, and the gravity god created all the Earths and the globes and the stars and everything we see here, except for the dark matter and dark energy.
But trust us, it's
I mean,
there.
that's yeah. Trust me, bro.
I
Gravity
don't see anything.
works.
Wait, are you sure? Oh yeah, it's all there, bro. Don't worry about it.
And the expansion of the universe is the opposite of what they predicted because gravity should be slowing it down at least, but it's actually speeding up according to them. So, like at the galactic level and above, like gravity just it's not working. The opposite is happening. It's mass repelling mass. How about that?
Dude, it's crazy because you still have people that are arguing by saying, "Well, where's the edge then?" And it's like,
At
dude,
the
are we
ocean.
serious? You think that the edge is happening right now as we speak because it's just expanding into what again? Like, you're
Well,
going to ask
they're
me if
asking
there's
you
an
where's the
edge?
edge, but every
Yeah.
time we say where's the edge, they say refraction. So they're turning it around on you. Like, I can't answer your question about the edge. So how about I ask you about your edge when you're not claiming one? They're the ones claiming an edge.
I was just talking about how the universe in their paradigm is still happening as we speak. It's flying away from everything, right? Do
Well,
I
yeah,
have
it's
that
like
right? Like,
it's expanding, but what's it expanding into?
that's what I'm saying. Like, and then they're going to ask me about if we're flat Earth has an edge. Like, really think about your own paradigm.
I
It's
like that
way
they say
crazier.
the universe is flat in their model, which I love. This is grand.
Yeah, they got pissed off when they figured that out. When I was telling them back in the day that the universe is flat, they were like, "Nuh-uh."
It's like wild
Shit
that they
funny.
can accept it on the grand scale, but totally just like I think it's like I mean I don't know. I just think that if you can't entertain flat Earth, it's like you've been so mind controlled. You can't even like you don't even have respect for your own experience. Like how sad if you can't even like just respect your own what you experience. You're like no. It's all a deception, and I don't feel like I'm spinning because I'm spinning. And even though we all colloquially say that the sun is setting, it's the earth moving. It's like it's so weird just to even not
I
be
know.
able to entertain it.
I think they know deep down in the back of their head, like, yeah, this shit is this shit is whack,
Weak. It's weak.
weak, whack. Yeah,
Gravity's the weakest force. Oh, it's not a force, but we still think it is.
that's
But
so funny
gravity
when
is
they
their
think
god.
that when they think they are going to outsmart you by having some type of knowledge that they don't know you have, and then you're just kind of like, what does 3959 mean to you?
Dude, my favorite
What was
questions to
that?
ask them is math, science, and some of them still say yes. Does math prove things? Yes. Does science prove things? No. Oh, okay. Dude, I got so many of them on that line of questioning, bro. Okay, if math is science, because it's a tool that scientists use, is beakers science? Because scientists use beakers. Dude, I don't know why they say the things that they say. Like, they can't lose an argument against an anti-flat earther, so it's double, triple, quadruple down over and over again. Crazy.
That's what I was telling Gio yesterday. It was like, we're living in very interesting times. Like, nobody has ever experienced what we're all experiencing right now. Like, so this is, which is a little crazy because you think about the generation after generation, nobody's ever stopped and said and questioned the earth, you know? At least we don't know. There might have been. I mean, I don't know. Do you think that they started it before the 50s here in the school systems, or do you think right around when did the Rockefellers or whoever buy the textbooks? You know what I'm talking about? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
You're coming through.
Okay.
I just took my headphones off. But yeah, I mean, I really don't get mad at the Glovers. From my point of view, they're kind of like the King of Rohan when Gandalf showed up, and he was like, Gandalf Stormcrow, and they had the little snake tongue guy, the fork tongue guy, whispering in their ears all the time. You know, so I really don't get mad at the Glovers. I
Is
just
that
try to
seriously what
ground
you
them in
think?
reality. Yeah, I think
That's what
Glovers
you
are
think
like the
about that?
crusty old king. Yeah, they
Nice.
think they're running shit on the throne, and they think they got everything. You know, they say we went to the moon. That's why I call them trans astronauts. We went to the moon. You know, it's and they're all statists. So when the president tells them they went to the moon, they believe it. You know, Tricky Dick. He said we went to the moon.
Well, dude, that was like all pumped up back in those days. Everybody was talking about it, like, we're going to do something nobody else has ever done before. So I could see how everybody got wrapped up into that. You know what I mean? But
Well, the
I heard some
television is
people
a
say
very
that they,
powerful weapon.
well, even back then, though, there were some people that knew that it was bullshit right off the bat. You know? I
Yeah,
didn't know
I
that,
mean,
though, till like 20, but whenever funny thing happened on the way the moon came out, that's when.
and think about how much fucking energy they've spent trying to convince everybody. And then when you talk to a normie about flat Earth, they're like, "Why does it matter? How much did they spend? I mean, how much television programming did they put in front of your child's face to convince your child? But why does it matter?" But yeah, TV is a powerful thing. Imagine if I could go back like 5,000 years and talk to some humans, whether they were building pyramids or scraping cave stuff, right? Like, if I could, you know, program a television show for them where they're having audio and visual hallucinations simultaneously, I can make them believe whatever I wanted to, right? Well, we're not that
Not a-
different than the cavemen.
Now, dude, that was also right around the time where they would have that play the national anthem or whatever, and then they'd have the, obey and all that stuff that was getting
Yep.
scrolled at the bottom. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I show it to people all the time.
That's creepy. So maybe it worked. Maybe that's why everybody's so crazy when you bring it up. Maybe that was the spell they put on people.
I've heard that was doctored after the fact, though. I don't know how valid that is. That video you're referring to,
Which one?
the one with the Pledge of Allegiance at the nightly broadcast, the way it like slips into the. I don't know. For some reason, I just remember. I don't know. I'm just skeptic of everything, but like, I don't know how legit that one is.
Well, you had to slow it down, right? You had to like put it on like a crazy, what do they
Oh yeah, no,
call
I
it,
get it. I get it. I get it. I've seen
speed
it, but like,
to, yeah. I guess you could fake that too, but I guess that's something that I thought was kind of,
oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised if they did it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lied about doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
pretty much.
I'm not necessarily trying to, pick even. I don't give a fuck.
Nothing can surprise you anymore. You can't
Well,
be
I mean, I just think
surprised.
I'm like fascinated with the whole market. Like, you guys ever get into like Michael Tsarian? He's got a whole fucking video series about like, just like propagandists and like media, and it's just fascinating. Like, he's a bit of he's got some early stuff where he was a little out there, but he just his social critique and like the quotes he uses, and like he goes off on some tangents, but like, man, really insightful into how these like even to the point where he made such a good point, like anyone who would say like, I am you, that kind of theoretic, that kind of like we all are one, he's like, dude, that's a fucking psyop if there ever was one. You know what I mean? He's like, he breaks down a lot of concepts that people tend to
Who is it? What's his
kind of
name?
have. Michael Tsarian, Tsarian, or On maybe. And he's got a thing called Unslaved, which is pretty cool. And um but he's like, I guess, anti flat earth, but a lot of his books have to do with like, Enki and space travel and like, the aliens coming to fucking do whatever. But he was ahead of his just his social critique though, and the idea of like Bernaysian techniques of how they kind of have like controlled like the Medea, you know, the
Oh,
Medea
he
were
hates
like the
flat Earth.
ancient. He does, because I think a lot of those guys are invested in the space, the space story of we came from the stars and Dracos and fucking all that. You ever get into any of that crap? Like like the aliens from the Dracos people were fighting the Palladians people. You know what I mean? Like the whole
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
show up
Then
there.
yeah,
Right,
we're
right.
talking about
So he
that.
kind of does. He's
Marines,
that's
Like
his
the super
Scientology.
Marines.
like about like Tiamat and shit. And like
That's
the Great Deluge came because these aliens landed on Tiamat or pretended to land on Tiamat, but came to Earth. So the other aliens blew up Tiamat, which was another moon that was just water, and so it looked like two suns in the sky. And then like fucking that blew up and sent the deluge and all the water crashing to Earth. That's his whole stick, which was pretty.
yeah, that's
You
from
know,
Zachariah
it's
Sitchin, who was a
it's
Freemason.
enthralling.
He falsely translated the Sumerian tablets and made up all this BS.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like you start getting into Zachariah Sitchin, fucking plant. But like I just, but regardless, his work, you know, is like Tsarian's work is pretty fun, interesting, and informative.
Oh my god.
Sitchin's office was in was it the Rockefeller building or the Rothschild building? I can't remember, but I read the 12th Planet series. Was it 12th Planet? Yeah, 12th Planet series. And I was reading it and I was like really getting into it. And about the 6th book in, I was like, I don't know, man. I stopped reading it.
It's like Scientology. It's a psyop.
Sixth book.
There's
Yeah,
like zero
they were
foundation
talking
in it.
about Shem was, basically all these missiles, and they were shooting them at each other, and all this like NASA propaganda in the ancient tablets. It was weird.
The ancient tablets have nothing about other planets. That's a lie from Zechariah Sitchin. They came from the heavens. In every ancient, writing, these are like, beings, like spiritual beings from the heavens. They're not like some biological civilization from, some other planet. That was just inserted by Zechariah Sitchin.
Yeah, it's like you ever get into like Lloyd Pye
No,
and like all that? Oh, Lloyd
I don't
Pye
read
is another
science
one. But
fiction.
he's an interesting cat. But he gets into like bones and shit. It's a whole nother ball of wax. But he's an interesting read. Or he's got some videos I think online too that are fun. But yeah.
Yeah, but I was reading this Zachariah Sitchin stuff, around 2012, and I remember watching this one YouTube channel, and they kept talking about the coming paradigm shift, and I would always listen to them and wonder what they were talking about. And the World's Last Chance YouTube channel, and it's like after a while watching it, they went flat Earth, and I was like, did they know about the paradigm shift before, or did they find out about flat Earth same time I did? But yeah, this whole paradigm shift, that phrase was coined by Thomas Kuhn, Professor Thomas Kuhn. And I always talk about it because there's so many people stuck in the old paradigms, plural. And it's like, how could you be stuck back there still after all this time? It's like, it's right in front of your face. Flat Earth is right in front of your face when you go outside. If you want to see the globe, you got to go inside and turn on your TV or your computer or your cell phone. Well, I guess you could look at your cell phone outside, but there is no globe outside. Like if you're just a man outside in nature, there's no globe anywhere unless you bring it with you in your mind's eye.
Yeah, name me one self-evident thing that brings you to living on a globe.
If you guys were on a plane and say the plane was like 400, 500 miles an hour, do you think you'd be able to tell if the plane was going 1,000 miles an hour instead, or like twice the speed? Just you personally, could you tell? If
No,
like
but the plane's a closed system.
Go ahead.
The answer is no, but the plane is a closed system. So the only way I would be able to tell is if I was looking at the instruments or looking at the ground and counting the speed of miles passed by recognizing cities, which would be really difficult. So no, the answer is no.
If there was no roof, you would.
Yeah.
And by tell, I didn't mean like feel. I mean like look out the window and look. You couldn't be able to tell.
Well, if you knew how long it took to fly from Los Angeles to New York City and you got there in like half the time, yeah, but
Then
normally you
got
would not
into
be
a
able
plane.
to tell.
Interesting. Okay.
So do you think you'd be able to tell if the Earth was spinning or if do you think you'd be able to tell if the Earth was moving or the sun was moving if all motion is relative according to Einstein?
No.
Okay, so why do they teach in the schools that the Earth orbits the sun?
Due to other reasons.
Like what?
Look it up. Sorry to interrupt
Oh,
your little happy hour you guys had going on. Please continue.
no, please join the conversation. I mean, I'm all for it. I'll go on mute.
Yeah,
But I have looked it up.
that was the start of my thing I was going to share, but apparently we can't tell, if this plane's going twice as fast as they say it is, so there's no point in talking about it.
Well, I told you how you could tell, but for someone who's flying for the first time, they don't know how long it takes to get to LA to New York.
Ideally, it would be someone that hasn't flown for the first time.
Okay, so maybe they would be able to tell. How would they be able to tell?
If you're in your car, you're going 40 miles an hour, and you look out your window, could you tell if you're going 80 miles an hour? Could you tell the difference?
Probably.
In some cars, I say no. On some roads, I say no. But if you're driving like a clunker on a bumpy road, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to ask. You guys can carry forward. If you would have said yes, if you would have said, "Oh, I could definitely tell," or I could, I'm sure I could tell. I hope I can tell. I would have continued, but there's no point. So
I did say yeah if it was a clunker. If we're talking about driving a jalopy down the road on a bumpy road, yeah, you could tell. But if you're driving like a brand new Tesla down a fucking runway, probably not.
Well, there'd be things that would be going by my window, and I wouldn't assume that. Oh no, I'm still, and that's moving out there. Like I would never.
Look, I'm all for the Glober making their arguments. I've listened to it for a really long time. And for me, from what I could tell, there's always, some magic phrasing. Like, imagine if you can, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, or,
Yeah.
We went to the moon, did we? Like, there's
Everything
always
starts
something
like
baked
that.
in there.
They always start with imagine, dude. It's crazy, but that's
you know
true.
the whole you know the whole idea that we've been talking about the massive size distance discrepancy around Antarctica on the globe and around Antarctica on the Gleason map.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So I asked ChatGPT like how much like would it be feasible like let's say we're to charter a plane and to fucking do that. How much would it cost? And it did its thing. It's probably wrong, but it said about $1 million. And I was like, that's a lot. Is that like you have to buy the plane or you just like pay and like rent the plane or whatever? And I said, no, you're not buying the plane. So I'm like, okay, what if we were to take existing flight routes to essentially go around the world with you know to do that, and you take the flights that are lowest in latitude after I taught it the distance discrepancy and things like that, and the amount it says it'll be is about less than $9,000, assuming you take economy flight routes. We've got multiple flight routes. I posted the table below. Multiple flight routes to go around the world in order. We have the estimated flight time each plane would take, estimated flight speed. Obviously, plane slows down and speed up, but and the second table is, which I actually think it might be more. I actually think this is like a conservative estimation. The distance discrepancy of each of those flight routes on the globe versus the Gleason map, because they're not the same. And at minimum, it's the Gleason route distance is at least 2x. So
Okay, I just have one.
knowing how speed works, they're either relying on the amount of time it takes, which is very easy to tell because you're going to arrive either on time or you're late, or they're lying about the speed. So that's why I asked, if the plane's going 400 or 500 miles an hour, could you tell if it's going 400 or 500 versus 800? And since I didn't get a for sure answer, I just said there's no point. But
Okay, I
so
just got one question.
unless all these people going around the world, they can't look out the window and tell they're going twice as fast as their previous flight route, it's not happening. It's not that.
Okay, I just got one question. When's the last time you heard someone in this room say that the Gleason's map is the terrain of the Earth? Like the AE map is the true representation of the Earth.
I don't disagree. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. I don't think I know anybody that shows that map and says this is the terrain. This is what the Earth looks like. What we say is when we go outside and we take long distance observations and we see too far, that's the reason why globers make the excuse of refraction, because they can't explain it away based on the geometry given to us of 3,959 miles.
Dual pole it is. Dual pole FE. I agree with you. It's superior to the Gleason map.
Are you a flat earther, sir? You're a concaver, aren't you?
Do you disagree that the dual pole is superior to the Gleason?
I don't fool around with things like models because I've gone out and seen the Earth myself. So I don't have an opinion.
That's not
Why
enough.
don't
You see, because the dual pole is flat Earth, so that's not being contended right now. We're talking about distances.
I mean, the distances according to what? Like, who's telling you what distance is right? And like,
Larry,
is the point to prove that you live on a globe?
Larry, do you agree or disagree that Antarctica goes around the world and is containing the oceans?
I don't know. I've never been there. I couldn't tell you.
Interesting. Well, all these things that we're talking about with the Globers, they haven't been there either.
Yeah, I know, but they believe what they saw on TV, whereas I'm skeptical. That's the difference.
Okay, well, that's fine. I guess we're operating at different levels. So,
Yeah, I'm operating at the level of skepticism where I don't believe something just because I hear it or see it on TV, right? Like Witsit, who I have a great deal of respect for, says that he went to Antarctica. I don't believe that shit. I don't say that he's wrong because I wasn't there. I don't know.
So you
I
haven't been
wasn't
there
there.
to. Okay.
No,
Do
I'm
you
just
think
saying
he's
I'm
right?
reserving. It's not about whether he's lying or not. It's about the information. I am not picking a side, and I don't have to. I can remain on the fence.
You ever been to China before?
Nope.
Do you believe China exists?
Yep.
Okay. How about all the other
And it's
continents?
not a.
Do you believe they?
It's
Do
not a
you believe they
contradiction
exist?
because it's not. Do you mind if I finish?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's not an. It's not an extraordinary claim to say that hey, there's continents, and there's actually another continent where the Asians are at, right? I know that there's Asians, so it would make sense if there's another continent where they're from. It's not an extraordinary claim, but to say that there's this place where there's 24-hour sun in the south, I've never experienced that, so I don't have a belief on it. I'm agnostic. Go ahead.
So I got you. So you mentioned you never been to Antarctica. You don't claim the Gleason, and that's all fine. Are you aware that the Gleason Antarctica is, if you were to do a circumference around it, like just the coastlines, is about 7 times larger in measurable distance than the Glober variant?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
But we're talking about models.
Okay. Do you have a problem with that? That there's a 7 times distance discrepancy?
In a model? No, I don't got no problem at all.
According to whose measured distance? In which model?
Does anyone in here believe that Antarctica is going around the world as we see on
Not
the Gleason
answering.
map and containing all the oceans?
That I can
You
tell
said
you
there's
that
a distance.
who was the one ship captain that went around supposedly
Captain
trying
Cook.
to go around Antarctica, and he like
Cook.
took like a 65,000 mile long trip and never found the. Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, something's just ain't adding up. Obviously, I haven't been to the Antarctic ice wall or whatever the hell you want to call whatever, But who the hell
That's
knows
all
for
right.
real?
Will the ask
They
the
call
question
it
again,
ice.
please?
I was
No, I mean,
asking him
there's.
what distance.
Go ahead, Taylor.
What distance discrepancy? Who are you referencing that measured it? You said there's a distance
Well,
discrepancy.
that's besides the point. Are you just aware of the
Oh, really?
geometric implications? Yes,
No,
really.
no, that's
No, you
big
said
time.
it has a distance discrepancy, and I'm wondering who measured this discrepancy.
Okay,
And
but
you said that's
forget who
besides the
measured it.
point.
Are
That's
you
your claim.
aware of the geometric implications?
Yeah,
but I don't know anybody who's measured it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wait, we're talking
Well,
about models. We're not talking about actual, the terrain.
Oh, well, he made it sound like we were.
We're talking about models, right? Because the
Models.
AE map is
It's
just
the
a
only
map.
truth. You're all wrong. It's a concaver.
Well, we will write that down. But we're not talking about actual measurements, right? No one's actually measured the circumference of the Gleason's map, right?
Oh, yes, they did. Turned out to be a concave circumference.
Write that down. Okay, so moving on. It's just a concept, right? These models that you're talking about, the globe and the Gleason's
It's
map
a
and the AE map, like,
measured fact.
okay, who measured it? Answer the lady's question.
Gatekeeper.
That's
Is that
the
like a
last.
character from Elder Scrolls 3? What are you talking about?
The last guy who was talking.
That's exactly what I asked him earlier. He chat GPT'd it, basically asking it if you flew from here to here to here to here to here. And I'm like, your chat GPT, and I don't know, man.
We're talking about concepts. Like when you go outside and you look at the Earth, there's a reason why Globers say refraction, because they can't say, there's my edge. They can't say that. So they say refraction instead. When we say, where's your edge?
We had somebody in here
Sphere
yesterday
doesn't have
saying
an edge.
it was physical
The
and
sphere
apparent.
doesn't have an edge?
Nope.
I've never seen a sphere that didn't have an edge that blocked things off when you went below on the other side. Like, you ever seen
Sphere
both
doesn't
sides
have
of the
an edge,
baseball at
bro.
the same time? Have you ever seen both sides of the baseball at the same time?
That's a silhouette, not an edge.
Well, I
Like
would say the edge is
a cube has 12 edges. A tetrahedron has 6
look.
edges. A sphere
I get
has
it.
no edges. Like
You're
it's one
talking
of the
about a
geometrical
geometry.
principles, yeah, of
Get
a
it. I
sphere
get
is
it.
that it
But
has no edge.
okay, well, my point of view. Let's say I'm a photographer. Okay, the frame, right? When the front side of the ball is in the frame and the other side of the ball left the frame, that would be the edge, in my opinion. But yeah, I get it that you have an argument, and I'm not going to die on this hill. Please continue. So where's the edge of the globe? I mean, who cares about Antarctica? Where's the edge of the globe when I went to the ocean and I could see Ingleside on the bay from 10 miles away in the ocean with the water up to my armpits? Where was the edge then? Where was the edge of the globe?
Well, the water wasn't up to your armpits. It only appeared that way. The water would remain where it is, level and stationary, right?
No, I was in the water, and the water literally rose up to my armpits the deeper I got. And then at that point, if I got any deeper, I couldn't see it anymore. So I backed up to where the water was at my armpits again, and I could see Ingleside on the bay from 10 miles away.
I hear you, but I'm just saying it didn't literally raise to your armpits. It only appeared that way. Because if it did, that wouldn't that would.
Okay, I lowered myself into the water till it reached my armpits.
But I'm speaking on
Why are we?
I'm defending FE. It didn't literally raise. It literally appeared to raise, but it wasn't actually doing that. Because
Did I say the water raised up to my armpits? I don't think I said that.
Okay, well,
the water raised. That's what I said.
I don't think you said raised.
I don't think so either. I think everybody's just picking what I'm saying apart. So where was the curvature? Where? How come I could see something that I didn't even know was there until I laid eyes on it? And then you guys are going to say, actually, it was behind the curve. And what you saw, like the ocean water that was right in front of or appeared to be below the buildings that I saw, that was actually the other side of the curve, like the other side of the ball. How did the other side of the ball appear in the frame? Go ahead. I'll wait.
Welcome to Concave Earth, Larry.
Yeah, I'll write that down.
There is no edge.
So how did I see the other side of the hill? The water hill caused
Because
by the curvature of the
there was
earth?
no edge. There was just an empty concave Earth in front of
Look, if you'll teach me, I'm willing to learn. Um, I'm going to admit my bias,
me.
not from the
That's
concaver,
all you'll get
but
for now.
from the Glovers. I'm willing to learn. How did I see the other side of the ball?
The concave school of thought is closed today. You have to come back in a couple hours.
Okay, well, I appreciate your free speech and everything, but either tell me or be quiet so the Glovers can tell me.
The
You
Globers
missed
don't
your
have the
window.
truth just as much as the flat earthers don't have the truth. It's only the concavers that matter.
Yeah, anybody who's super confident like that, like I automatically don't trust. This is
You don't
it,
need to
and
trust. You just
nothing
need to
else.
trust the concave Earth, not me
That's what I mean.
and my confidence.
That's what I mean. It
You just need to
sounds.
trust the emptiness inside of a sphere
Well, I
and
need to
just think
trust
about
you.
it. No, you need to trust the sphere.
Trust the sphere so I can figure out that it's really concave. Okay, got it.
Do you even know what a sphere is?
Is that a serious question?
Concavers are always serious.
Now, are you speaking like for concavers, or you are one, or like you're the way you're? I don't know. I can't quite. Are you telling me second person, third person?
The concave society can't answer that question. Next question.
Is there a concave society?
You're looking at it.
You're it.
There's a couple
This is it.
others.
Okay.
There's no cavalry coming to save us. We're it. We're the Optobots, Autobots.
That's gotta suck, huh?
Lone
Like,
sentinels of the truth. We fend off the Globers and Flat Earthers alike. And this struggle between good and evil. I mean, doesn't it make sense? That's why all the people who started your movement are all shills because it's fake and it's clearly a concave, spherical, empty spherical
I'm
ball.
I'm
Didn't the
sorry.
dude who
My
started Concave say that he was the next coming of Jesus and ended up being like a super big fraud? So, how do you stand on that?
LSC baby, LSC, Lord Stephen Christ.
He was just such a big fraud that it canceled out his fraudulentness. It's kind of like the same way if you look inside of an empty sphere, it looks like a flat Earth. I'm the number one concave earther, hands down.
We can tell.
Your flat Earth doesn't even make sense. It needs to accelerate upwards.
Yeah, because that makes more sense for sure. Yeah.
Pizza dish Earth makes no sense at all. It could just tip over and everyone would fall off. Concave Earth is really truly what it is.
No, I know you're joking. You
They
can't
found a
prove.
spider that goes against
Dude,
evolution.
the concave Earth was even featured on Game of Thrones. Flat Earth,
Yeah.
nothing.
They found a spider that goes against the what is it, the evolution theory, like how genomes work. I guess scientists have believed that species colonizing islands tend to develop larger genomes with more repetitive DNA. This new discovery turns that idea on its head and deepens the debate over biology's central mysteries: how and why genome size change during the
Well,
evolution of life.
you see, that makes sense because in the concave Earth model, there's a pyramid in the center of the Earth that rotates every which
Well,
direction, and an anti-pyramid which directs the evolutionary steps of spiders and snakes.
I tried. I gave it an honest effort.
Hey, dude, what's up? By the way, it's good talking to you last night. I kind of lost my internet, so
So evolution is debunked, or at least the theory of genomes with evolution. That's a problem.
Yeah, evolution only makes sense when you take into account the 369 toroidal field coming out of the pyramid at the center of the Earth, which is actually the sky that you look up at.
you can't.
It's a singularity. It's a singularity black hole, space-time warping concave earthifier. At night, the sun actually goes behind the black sun, which is the infinite pyramid generator vortex warp speed mixed basoptron. And Peer Rigger has been hiding from that fact ever since I told him last week.
You just totally wrecked his worldview.
Yeah, it was brutal. Still recovering.
I can tell, dude.
Every time I come in here, it's just a dunking fest on anyone who's a flat earther because the truth of the concave just shines through so brightly. It's like fucking Jordan on preschoolers, bro. Like I'm Air Jordan. I believe I can fly.
So you made this up. You found out the concave stuff like nobody else. Just you.
No, I'm only a student, but I skyrocketed to number one concave earther in just 1 hour of study. I was a child prodigy.
So what? You're one of 5.
The competition was stiff. I'll admit. You're right. But now that I'm number one, we're cleaning up this act. And we started just by dunking on Pure Rigor alone and anyone else in our way.
Make concave great again. in CGA. Make Concaver great again.
We call it Cave Earth Chronicles sometimes. We also have Concave Chronicles. The history of the concave Earth. Critical Caves. We a documentary explore the sphericity of the planet and how it's a hollow, empty sphere.
So you're more of a waffle man and not a pancake guy.
There is room. There is room for waffles, but only as external panels lining the exterior spherical concavity shape of this cosmos.
To run the pyramid inside of a pyramid inside of a pyramid in the center.
Yeah, so the mothership, which is actually a fractal pyramid toroid counter space magnetron accelerator. When it manifests the light vibration into this third reality, it projects the stars onto the black sun, which obscures the white sun at nighttime. And that's how gravity is produced on the concave.
Yeah, that totally covered it. I have no
Fucking
questions
jives,
after
doesn't
that.
it?
Yeah, you got me, dude. Like you answered every single thing. I had zero questions after the end of your spill there.
Well, it looks like we got a sixth concaver here. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you. That's
CC
good.
concave.
What were those stupid flat earthers thinking?
Is the
Yeah, dumb.
concave
They should have just
sphere, is it pear
call him
shaped or
stupid
is
rigger
it
or something. I don't know.
is the concave sphere pear shaped?
No, it's more of an eggplant shape, but we still refer to it as a sphere.
No, concave seems to have the best of both worlds. Can't decide what it really is.
It's everything and nothing at once, bro. You have no idea. It's a trip.
Is the moon concave? Is it hollow?
Yeah, it's a half concave, half sphere concave. It's actually a superconductive electrode made of silver iodine panels built by the previous
Gravitas
Palladian
generator.
race that lived on this planet that were the forefathers of the Atlanteans. And when they came with their mothership pyramid overdrive hyper loop, uh, they made a hole in the black sun, and that's what we know as the moon today.
Dude, that
Completely
totally
explains why the moonlight is cold. So you can't explain that on a flat Earth why the moonlight is cold. So that's another evidence towards the concave.
So what causes volcanoes and where's the lava come from?
Underground.
Essen- Essentially, a reverse gravitational helical gravity warp presses against the magma wall that surrounds reality. Kind of like the flat Earth almost got it right with the ice wall, but it's actually a magma wall that goes around the reality. And the hyper warp loop sucks that towards the center, towards the fractal pyramid, because the lava's hot and the pyramid is hot as well. And yeah, that's basically it. Makes much more sense than flat Earth.
So it makes more sense. Is it the sense of sight, smell, taste, touch, equilibrium? What sense is it that you're sensing this magma wall?
DMT, third eye exploration through the concave peace pipe. You see the pipe also is a hollow sphere, and we add the crystal into it to take our consciousness to the next plane, the mental plane, where we can explore the magma cube wall matrix on the exterior of the sphere.
On the vortices of the
Yeah,
toroidal
the vortices of the
spatial.
crystal, the cracked crystal inside the pipe, when it does its scientific superconductive quantum leap into your lungs, and you get blasted off to the magma wall.
A lot of word salad just to say that you saw it in your imagination, your third eye.
It's in the center of the
Nah, bro,
ferrocell, dude.
nah, bro. DMT grows in all plants everywhere around the world. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right. I totally just disagreed with that in my mind, and you heard it through the ether, didn't you?
Yeah, the only way to access the ether is through pure DMT injection.
Yeah, I like to shoot my DMT in through my tear ducts, just like right up the cavity.
Oh, dude. Drop
Did
it
it
in
go
your
inside
eyes,
your
bro?
pee hole?
I don't recommend that. One little mistake and you got a ruptured urethra.
I like to hoop mine.
Yep. Only in jail, though.
I do get it though. Like I could see you being in a state of mind where that would sound like a good idea. You know what I mean?
Firewall. The Earth has a firewall made of liquid rocks.
With a superconductive
Superconductive
viscosity.
viscosive quantum matrix vertices calculator, superconductive computer.
Refractive.
Yeah, telepathic.
Are there no Globers here to argue with? How about statist? Government's a religion. Prove me wrong.